if we didn't have historicals and you just had like 2 weeks, what do you net out? Like if you didn't even know that Alabama football existed prior to 2 weeks ago, or Georgia football like had a championship run last year, or Kentucky was been bad forever, and then all of a sudden they've had this incredible climb over, God, I think Stoops has been there almost a decade now, if not a decade. You know, what would you net out? Like, what would your eyes tell you of like, you know what? Okay, Georgia, I get it at the top, but who would you put 2, 3, 4 based on literally wipe the slate clean in your memory?
Yeah, just watching it. I think I agree. I think Georgia's a step ahead, and I actually think their defense, they do it differently than they did last year, but they're still very, very efficient, and I think they're going to be a problem. I think Alabama's definitely the two. Again, it was one of those situations. The game had a ton of hype. Texas, who has talent, was finally playing up. But I still believe in Saban and his processes. To me, I'm going to take it home to the Big Ten. I think Ohio State, I'm going to say this historically, but when you watch them play, Jackson Smith and Jigba got hurt early in the Notre Dame game. They kind of won a different way. I'm not concerned about that offense getting geared up. I thought they showed a propensity and the ability to run the football, which is something they didn't do much last year. And then their defense improved tenfold to me. So, I think Ohio State, just the way it works out, the way that schedule always does, and the way that team always does, they're going to build, and they're definitely going to be a team that I think you could throw in there. And then from there, man, it's a toss-up. I haven't been impressed with Clemson's ability outside to really separate. And I think that's going to hurt them when you start playing the Georgias and the Alabamas of the world, and even the Ohio States of the world. Conversely, the team that I think has those horses is USC. So I think when you're talking about it, just watching it, I'd say that. USC presents a ton of problems. I mean, you can't, if you load the box, you're playing one-on-one with 4 dudes who can win consistently against it. If you give them a clean 5 blocks, they can run the football up and down the field and do it in creative ways, different motions and stuff like that. So they present a ton of problems. So for me, like, that's the 4 teams that I'm really looking at right now. But again, to Clint's point, it's super early. Anything can happen.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting to hear you give that answer. I loved it. Because you can't help but go back to like what you knew, right? Yeah. Like you've been like, so Clint, try the exercise, like just what you saw. I get Georgia at 1. Like, where are you going? Just what you saw. Do your best.
Yeah, I mean, I'll backtrack on my comments a little bit with Alabama and Ohio State. I do think Alabama is closer to Ohio State right now than they are Georgia. And hell, I think it potentially I could flip-flop those two in the next couple of weeks. I mean, Ohio State is an unbelievably talented football team. They're as talented as anybody in the country. And I don't think we've seen them play up to that potential yet. But again, it's such a small sample size. So I would definitely, I want to backtrack a little bit. I would put Ohio State in that mix. Here's the deal for me. I love the exercise that we're doing. I love the exercise we're doing because I'm a huge product guy. I'm just I don't give a shit what you did last year. I don't care who your coach is or isn't. Now we got to take things into consideration, like Brian Kelly leaving Notre Dame, one of the top 3 coaches of all time. Obviously, but I love to watch a product
of all time.
And say it again.
Of all time, like Notre Dame all time, or just in general all time.
What all time? What?
I don't know. You said Brian Kelly, top 3 coaches of all time.
Hell, he's the winningest active coach, isn't it? I'm not a huge Brian Kelly fan, so I don't want to get in that pissing match. No, I don't.
I'm just curious.
I don't. No. I just meant. I meant my statement was like current coaches.
Copy that.
To hear some people tell it. Now that's who Brian Kelly is right now. But I would take things like that into consideration when we're talking. But I'm a big product guy, man. And like I watched Notre Dame week 1, and there's nothing they can do to get better at quarterback. There's nothing. There's the fact that Notre Dame, I mean, in terms of recruiting and sex appeal, that is one of the top programs in America year in, year out. The fact that you don't have a quarterback that can sit in the pocket, get through progressions, and give you a chance to win a ball game from the pocket blows my mind. Now, there's several universities that fit in that category, but that's the kind of thing that when I looked at it this year, coming into this year, and what you watch that first slate of games, and you just go, this is not a top 10 team. You cannot be a top 10 football team with a quarterback that can, and I'm not banging on the kid. I mean, look, it is what it is. They don't have a quarterback, and you can't be a top 10 team without a quarterback that plays at an extremely high level. And so I'm a big product guy. Point is, I love your exercise here. I would go with Hack. With SC would be my fourth team. I haven't seen Oklahoma enough to really lean into Oklahoma right now. But that's who my top four would be.
What's going on, guys? Rob Doster here, the founder of the Field of 68 and the Field of 12 Media Networks. I wanted to take a quick minute to let you guys know about an exciting new project that we have been working on for the last 3 months. The Almanac, an all-encompassing preview of the 2022-23 college basketball season. We spoke with every single Division I head coach to give you a robust and accurate preview for all 363 Division I college basketball teams. We have predictions for conference finishes for all 32 leagues. We have features on the best freshmen, the best big men, the breakout stars, the coaches on the hot seat, so much more. It is 600,000 words of sheer happiness for the college basketball fan in your life. The Almanac is going to be available for digital purchase on September 26th for just $19.99, but you can pre-order it today using the promo code HOOPS and save 20%. Just hit the link in the description below.